we just finished making a Tennessee whiskey mash. Should we show you how we made it? The mash is too thick for the liquid to get down.
If something doesn't go wrong, you're not doing it right.
So Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Tennessee whiskey mash. This mash consists of 2 pounds, 8.7 ounces of two-row, 1 pound, 11.1 ounces of rye, and 16 pounds, 15 ounces of flaked corn.
A whole lot of corn, a little bit of rye to sort of bump up the kind of aromatic and spicy side of things.
Give it a little character.
But the backbone is 100% the corn for this mash, yeah.
It's all coming back to me, man. Haven't done this in 6 months.
This is a 2-part video. In this video, we'll be making a Tennessee whiskey mash, and we can legally do that in the United States because it's legal for us to make a mash. However, we cannot distill. So Jesse's gonna take that back to New Zealand and he's gonna distill it, and that'll be in part 2.
Yeah, I definitely like a finer crush when going brew in a bag styles. Better efficiency, faster mash times, and we're not worried about having a clear mash for distilling.
And then we're gonna have to add 16 pounds, 15 ounces of flaked corn.
It's a lot of corn, man.
It's a lot of corn.
Yeah. I mean, it's a corn whiskey, right?
With this much corn, it'll be interesting to see if the enzymes can handle it.
It's already gelatinized, so all of the starches are ready to get into solution really quickly, and it's going to save us 45 minutes and a whole lot of mess.
Okay.
No, that's not gonna do the trick.
No. Yeah.
So
there you go. Bring the bad boys.
You guys don't use this to brew. What do you actually use it for? Remember we tried to do this last time with you spanking my ass and it didn't make it?
So corn is the same as anything else. You want to add it slowly and stir the whole time. I'm sure you guys have heard this 1,000 times, but dough ball is bad.
We're pretty bad about just dumping things in, Jesse. The entire point of mashing is to convert starches into sugar, and this is done by the enzymes found in the malted barley. The mash is gonna be way too thick if the enzymes don't do their thing, and that could seriously screw up our equipment. That's a lot of corn.
Lots of corn, man. And it's starting to smell pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't believe you guys wanted to use the small paddle for this.
Yeah. I apologize for trying
corn
to
is
give you
intense, man.
a small paddle.
I've never seen a mash like that.
When I designed this recipe, I don't think I added enough water to compensate for all that corn. Yeah, we'll get the hoses hooked up, get the pump recirculating, and make sure we get this thing.
Keep everything wet.
Give it the best chance it can have. So I'm gonna open up the ball valve and get things recirculating.
That's probably good too, because with this kind of mash, I definitely recommend recircling for a couple of minutes and then giving it another really good stir.
Okay,
Because you can see how thick it is.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance, especially with some of the water sitting underneath with this kind of setup, that there's stuff that just isn't in contact with liquid yet, you know? All right, should we pop the lid on and let it gently recirc for a while?
Sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna have enough enzymes for this conversion.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be on the low. We're only using a small percentage of barley. I mean, it'll work eventually, but we might be here forever.
All right. We'll stick in.
Yeah?
You say get stuck in?
Get stuck in. That's right, let's get started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 0 for 2.
Kiwinese 101. Oh, it's fine. Yeah. The mash is too thick for the liquid to get down.
Yeah, I should have turned the flow down. But you said it was gonna be 5, so I didn't.
Wait, what just
I think
happened?
it'll be fine.
Yeah, the element. I caught it
Yeah.
immediately. We now know that we did not add enough water. The recipe on our website will have the correct volumes.
I'll be real with you, dude. When I'm making this kind of stuff, I don't measure it ahead of time. I don't have a beersmith sheet or anything. Because once again, you're not really worried about the liquid you're making now. You're going to completely break it down and pull it apart and put it back together later on when you distill it. So you can do this pretty much by sight, right? The amount of sugar that this corn is going to generate for us is the same, whether it's in
Right.
5 gallons or 100 gallons.
Right.
You know, it's just a lot more work later on.
Right.
So yeah, add water until it looks right.
You can definitely eyeball it, and we've done that plenty of times. But the closer you can get mash water dialed in, the quicker distilling will go later.
Tastes like whiskey mash.
Yeah.
All right, so the diastatic power on this is low, and we have a bunch of corn in there, which is unmodified. So I'm thinking if we let's set a time for half an hour, eh?
Yeah.
And we'll check it,
Do a test.
see how it's looking with an iodine test.
Yeah.
And if we need to add enzymes,
We got them. Yeah, totally.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
All right,
All right, so
half an hour.
do an iodine test.
Basically, we're just going to take a little bit of the mash out, and then we're going to dump a little bit of, drip a little bit of iodine on top. And if it stays relatively purpley, then there's no starch in what we have here on the plate. If it goes a really sort of dark, thick black color, we know we've still got some work for the enzymes to do. So our options here are, we keep waiting,
Okay.
and my guess is we'd probably want to aim for like a 2 hour, another hour and a half.
I don't got time for that, Jesse. I got meetings.
Yeah, meetings, important business things to attend to.
Right.
Yeah, AKA beer to drink.
Yes.
Okay,
Lunch
fine.
to eat.
Yeah. So bottle the enzymes, man.
I got them.
Bring on the enzymes.
I got them. Okay, cool.
All right, this is alpha amylase, which is one of the main enzymes you find in barley that does the mash normally for us. Because we're using so much corn, we don't have enough of it. This is going to help ensure that all of the starches convert to sugar for us. And the dosage rate is half teaspoon per 5 gallons.
We made the decision to add packaged enzymes. We were borderline to begin with, and conversion was just taking too long.
You can see it thinning.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
As we're putting it in, yeah.
Suck it, enzymes.
All right, should we close it up and let it reset for another half hour and do another starch test, eh?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah?
I think so, man. In case it's not clear, the enzymes we added help convert grain starch into sugar. The malted barley we used contains these enzymes, but we had a ton of starch and not a lot of malted barley. Oh yeah, way sweeter than it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Way thinner.
We would have got there with the barley, but it might have taken us like 3 hours.
And why wait? Those enzymes really came through. They're the real hero today.
Right they are. Right you are.
Why would you not just throw enzymes in every beer?
If you added enzymes to beer, then you end up with something like a brute IPA where it's
Champagne of beers.
yeah, you don't really have any residual sweetness. It kind of
You lose all your body.
loses the body.
Yeah.
It's better.
Oh yeah, no more purple, huh?
I mean, there's still starch in it, but it took a lot longer to get there. So
Yeah.
I'd say we probably want to leave it for a little bit longer. And
Okay.
let's see how it's purple and not that like thick, sticky
Yeah.
kind of black that it was before.
15 maybe. We went and grabbed some tacos while we were waiting for the mash to wrap up.
I think this is a wedding. Is this a wedding?
What is happening?
What is going on?
This has been mashing for
About 2 tacos long.
2 tacos each. And we turn the pump off and we're gonna do hopefully one last starch conversion test.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're good.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. It'll turn purple eventually,
Okay.
but I'd call that a pass.
So I say it's time. We're
Yep.
done, right?
So Tennessee whiskey is normally sour mashed, but to do that you need the leftover stuff out of the still. Obviously we're not going to be distilling here, but the general idea is you take what's left in the still and use that as about 15-20% of the water for your next mash. Obviously we can't do it here, but I can do it at home when I recreate this.
Yeah, so if people are watching this, you're like, that's not a Tennessee whiskey.
Exactly.
And plus, you got to start somewhere. This is the first generation.
Yeah, it's generation zero.
So
Yeah.
if you can legally distill, you distill this, you save that goes to your second generation, and you keep moving forward. But you got to start somewhere. So
Everyone's got to start somewhere, man. Cool.
where'd CH go?
In my office.
Thanks for the help, bro.
Usually Ross does this part. Oh God. Oh God.
Is this a corn mash? Or did Emmett just barf his guts out?
Let me slam this water real quick. Just got really thirsty all of a sudden. We've chilled this down to 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Standard pitching temp for whiskey type stuff.
So we'll do 80, which is going to be warmer than most brewers are used to.
Way warmer.
Yeah. So turn the pump back on and let her flow. So this is just a corn yeast. So I figured that would be a good fit for Tennessee whiskey.
This, in my mind, suits this style of whiskey.
Cool.
25 to 50 grams per hectoliter. Really? That seems really low.
Doesn't it? A
Yeah.
hectoliter is 1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me.
That doesn't
Look
seem
at me,
right.
guys.
Hey.
Nailed it.
You know what? Should we just eyeball this?
Yep.
I'm gonna eyeball
Just
this and just
sprinkle
do
it.
what I would normally do.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be real with you. If I'm doing something like this at home, I'll open ferment it a lot of the time. Yeah. Just cover it up, you know, maybe loosely put the lid on so bugs don't get into it. Yeah, so if you want to roll the dice and just kind of see what happens and you're not stressed about this has to work this time or, you know, yeah.
But if you're new, you might want to throw a lid to play it safe. So, you spent your time and money on it.
Exactly.
But if you're looking to play it loose like we all do, throw it outside, throw it in the basement.
Yeah.
Don't even clean
You
anything.
can put some cloth over the top.
Right.
Stop the
Cheesecloth,
flies getting into
that's
it.
a good idea.
So our original gravity is around about 1.081, which is pretty good. That's what we're aiming for, right?
No boil. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Assuming that we ferment out relatively dry, I'm going to guess with that mash temp, this is probably going to get down to about 10:05.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
Okay.
But depending on exactly where fermentation stops, we're looking at about 10 to 11% is my guess, which is great.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's right where we want it.
Nice. Right in the sweet spot. Is that what you usually shoot for? 10, 11?
So I have recently been an advocate for aiming for the 8 to 9.
That's typically what I've read.
What you've heard.
People shoot for. Tennessee whiskey mash. Success. Had some ups and downs. Make sure to check out Jesse's channel. He's actually going to distill this Tennessee whiskey. He lives in New Zealand. Home distilling is legal. So we're making the mash. He's distilling it. And it's been great hanging out with you, Jesse.
It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor.
Absolutely.